this button and say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
Goes well. Yourself, sir?
I'm also well. Hey, man, this is a very unique looking deck. One we haven't really seen on the channel very often. Chaos Set 3 Midnight.
Yeah, it is a very unique deck.
Yeah. So, as you jump into it, hit me with the elevator pitch. What's going on?
So, the elevator pitch on this one is a little bit unique in the sense of I'm on the thought process of, as I am testing Tokiyami, I thought about maybe sideboarding into Midnight. So I wanted to take a look of what would if I sideboarded into Midnight, what would it look like?
Yeah.
So I took kind of a crack at it based upon what I've already built as a shell for Chaos Tokiyami.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get your input. I think the only constraint I would probably put you to is the deck at 55 cards. Other than that, as long as we not redo the whole thing, I think I'm totally game for any kind of changes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple of things real quick. So what we have to figure out, right? If this is actually a sideboard deck that we are forcing the switch over, right? We actually only have 10 cards that we're allowed to mess with, right?
Correct.
So the character is 1, and so I'm gonna go put Tokoyami stuff in the sideboard so that we can look at like what changes, what moves. So as we do that, right? I absolutely love this play. I think this play is really, really cool, and I think it's, as I said in that little video, I think it's going to be all over the place. I think Midnight sideboard is going to be all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. So here is the number one conundrum that I have with your list at the moment, and that is, as I put in 1 Tokiyami, 4 Summon Dark Shadow, and 4 Dark Shadow Ruins, those are currently not inside of your deck, which means that I have one more slot, one more sideboard card that I get to have taken out of my main board in order to make this a Midnight deck, right?
True.
Also, I think you put in the wrong Blue Flame card. This is Blue Flame Palm Strike as opposed to Spiral. So I'm going to make that change too.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. I was like, Palm Strike is weird. It's lame that they called them both Blue Flame. or yeah. They're just the same picture.
Exactly. I was just wanted to get something to kind of just test around as we prepare for National. So I just kind of wanted just to, hey, I put something together. I've never played Midnight before, so this is kind of be my first time really hacking at it. So I just wanted to get some good thoughts and inputs before I start, throwing some games down.
What are your thoughts on keeping Dark Shadow Ruin in the deck?
I think, I think the attack itself is really good. I originally started off with Shoto 2. It was really good. We pretty much, depending on, I think we lose the first enhance, but at the same time, it's like, hey, I'm going to get a speed and damage bonus regardless from Midnight and other support cards to include that stun 1, and then a great breaker 1 for a 1 mid block. So I'm not opposed to it at all.
I think all it takes is finding 1 damage, right, on your character in order to make this card incredible in your deck, right? Even to the point of like, I'll play Midnight. I'll commit Midnight for her cost to give this thing +3 speed, right? Because it's got the 3 keywords. And then I'll just use Stronger Darkness to give it 1 more damage. And then it gets 4 more damage and stun 1. So this is a, 7 high for 8. Nope, 7 high for 9 with stun 1.
And then if you want to use, you got 1 with Nature, you have other Stronger in Darkness. You want to use your response on Easily Excited. This thing gets...
This thing is massive. Yeah, it's very, very good. The question is what of these attacks do we take out to put this in? Because part of the reason to play part of the reason to play Midnight is to play Sunambulism, right?
Yeah.
I think the answer might be that we just take out the Twisting Azure Inferno because it only has 2 keywords, right?
Okay.
So what if we take Twisting and we put it in the sideboard? And we put in... we have to run 4 Dark Shadow Ruin because, like, that's how our deck works, right? Unless we're down to, like... how many attacks is your deck normally playing?
20 attack.
20? Okay, so we take... And we're able to take one of these out, right? And so here's our 20 attack still. And so that just means that one of these is in your sideboard.
Okay.
Yeah. And then... we have Summon Dark Shadow that we have to find 4 of back in the main board. I think it is totally fine for you to main board Summon Dark Shadow in your Midnight deck. I don't think it needs to be a 4 of, right? But I think you easily can just toss 2 in the main board. And then I don't think you need to have the plus ultras and the concentrates. I think that because we are playing Ruin again, I think that this card just doesn't count as progressive and it's fine. Right? Your character is still playable while committed. You just do the stuff. I'm going to put plus ultra and concentrate in the sideboard so they stay on the table. And we're going to take them out and we're going to put this back in. Got to find 2 more cards. Spirited Referee. What are your thoughts on this card?
I think I'm just so on it, and this is just me just kind of reading it without really playing it and everything. It's just, with the enhance, it gives the +2, still playable, white committed. The breaker 1's nice, but still on a 3 mid block.
Yeah.
Especially with we're gonna see probably like really pumped up stats. I'm just taking, for example, like Tokiyami, as we took with the Dark Shadow Ruin. Even with a partial block, I'm like, man, this thing is huge coming fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, this card does single-handedly make the Ruin active, right? Which is cool.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's worth a 2/5/3 mid-block slot.
Okay.
Personally. And that's where
I just threw it as kind of like a one piece in there.
Yeah.
It had her face on it.
It had her face on it. Yeah. What did you take out of your main board in order to put this? Because this is obviously a Tokiyami list. What was this?
This was an extra release.
I was playing release. I see. Okay, I'm gonna put the release back. We're gonna take out the Spirited Referee, and then I'm gonna put Shadow up to a 4. And then, what was Sunambulism? It was the 4th Ruin, and then 2 copies of what?
It was the 2 of the we were gonna take out the Twisting Azura.
Right. Okay. So what are these? So we're playing 2 Twisting Azure Inferno?
I originally had 3 of.
Okay.
In my main
board. Okay. I think that this attack lineup looks good. I like the Summon Dark Shadows. And the reason that I like the main board is because it gives us more sideboard slots, right?
Yep. Okay.
Truthfully, you could just make this small change of just like, change lose 1 Ruin, lose the double Infernos, toss in triple Sunambulism, and you could probably just run this deck as like a quick change to Midnight. The question is how do you make Midnight even crazier? You probably take out 1 if not 2 of these, so we'll take it down to a 1 of, right? And we'll see if there's any other cool things, like shock treatment would be cool. Actually, requesting assistance might be our real answer, right? Because we want to re-ready cards. So we take that, we toss in the double requesting, right? We'll take League Interview down to a 1 of. We'll put in 3rd requesting because we want to stuff a momentum, and then this card now says that as we commit cards with Midnight, we get to re-ready them back up with requesting, which is stunning, which is so good.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, honestly, you can maybe even like get rid of the last League Interview, but I do like the fact that like it makes your stuff a little cheaper. For the just in case cards,
Yeah.
Yeah. How many keywords does this card have? Man, it's rough that this doesn't trigger off of this.
Yeah.
I can't go Crow and Frog into Somnambulism. I have to go Crow and Frog into something else. Rough. How many cards in our deck? 55? I don't know, man. I know it didn't change very much, but like this just changing out those bonus cards to put in the midnight is very cool. If you want, we could look at like because I know what this list, what this is, right? How do I take this Tokoyami mainboarded list and kind of force midnight in? There's not a ton that we can do, because the other thing you have to think about, right, is if I just take all 10 cards of my sideboard and I make them into midnight, what happens whenever I need to tech in the tech pieces and still be Tokoyami, right? What happens when I need the extra irrefutable? What happens when I need the extra one with nature? What happens when I need the extra whatever, right? And so there's the real question that we have, right? Having midnight and then requesting and then Somnambulism. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. That leaves 3 cards that we get to mess around with as Tokoyami, as opposed to midnight. That are like tech pieces, like something like a final exam failures or a shock treatment or whatever. You know?
No, it's the challenge that we face, especially with character swaps. That I'm not going to be as optimal on midnight if I'm mainboarding Tokoyami. But
correct.
Valid point. It was just more of a thought of experiment that I would like to just test out to see how it goes. And then, if it doesn't go well, then guess what? No harm, no foul.
True. So let's take it and spend the next 10 minutes looking at the other side, right? What happens if I start as midnight and then go into Tokoyami, right? Because that now means that I no longer have to play things like Crow and Frog. I get to mainboard a different attack, right? I still play the Dark Shadow Ruin, right? I still mainboard the Somnambulism, but now Crow and Frog gets changed out because all it does, it doesn't count as progressive, right? And so maybe it becomes a 2 of, and now I have 2 more attacks that I get to put into my main board, like Indiscriminate Volts, which gets ungodly fast, right? We saw the last one. This plus 1 easily excited in midnight is an 8-speed move, right? Let's look at what our block counts are. We need hard blocks. Clap, 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 clap. So maybe this is not the right answer. Let's put you back. Let's go look at some. Maybe it's just Giant Ice Wall, right? Yeah, maybe it's just Giant Ice Wall. Maybe Giant Ice Wall is just the answer, right?
Yep.
We put in more high blocks. We take out the Crow and Frogs because they're less impactful as midnight. And then when you go into Tokoyami, you just take out the Giant Ice Walls and you put back in the Crows.
Possibly.
Or you take out the Somnambulisms come out, right? The 2 Giant Ice Walls come out. You put in the 2 Crows. You put in the 1 Ruin. You put in the 2 Infernos, and then your attack lineup's back, right?
Okay, I see it.
Right, just as options.
Yeah.
That actually makes us even here, which is cool. I know we talked about it before. I still don't love double self-assured. I think 1 will probably get you there fine. But if you are high on this card, I want you to be high on this card.
Well, weirdly enough, I was playing some games today, and I may go on the I may bump up the Chivalrous Competitor, because I do like the 1/5 with a low block, especially looking for draw power within Chaos. And you make an excellent point later on. And it's like, hey, even if I gave you the perfect block zone, can you truly block what I'm about to throw at you?
Yeah, probably not.
I really
move so
care
fast. Yeah. Yeah. What that does, though, right? Because I'll make this change real quick. I'll put this up, and I'll put you in the sideboard, so you're still on the board. We'll get rid of this. That does put us back to this idea of here, and now I don't even have the safety net of like changing my zones, right? Like my mid zones are very, very high. So you got to be careful with what's happening when you fight the mirror match. This card's just gonna rock you.
Yep.
And so maybe your Irrefutable goes down to a 2 of question mark, or one when nature goes down to a 2 of, right? Because you only really need one when nature on the board, as long as you can find one. Or maybe competitor goes down here and we up like release to a 4 of, right? Increase our spam count, increase our high block number, like because I only ever want one release. And now I got a 2 high block that I'm down just to hold, and that makes things like a little cleaner here.
Especially, and then just I was just thinking also with Midnight, I'm able to draw into it, so necessarily I don't need that one with nature at a 3 of, as long as I can get one copy on the board and it doesn't get blown up. Then it's online and I don't need to worry about it. But
let's toss one of nature back down here and let's put Selfisher back in a 1 of. Yeah.
Okay.
As we move some stuff around.
I like it.
Now 17, 21, 17. Things are a little cleaner, and we kind of got the thing that we wanted out of it, right? Just moved around our low blocks, and now we've got more spam in our deck, right? Like we cut 2s and we put in 0s and 1s, right? Here's a 1, here's a 0.
Yeah.
Difficulties? Holy cow! You're gonna build 100 on turn 1. You're gonna build 7 and just mess them up.
That is the idea.
That's sick. That's so sick. Man, Chaos is just gonna blow people out next set. Schnuts. Actually, schnuts.
I love it. I'm actually excited for it.
Oh yeah? Excited? I think that this is a fine place to start. Here's the homework though. Cronefrog takedown is gonna suck in Midnight, but if the goal is to cosplay as Tokoyami, you have to figure out how to put that card in the main board at some capacity so that you have sideboard slots to be flexible. Unless you're down just to be like just a clown car and be like, yo, I'm gonna take out all of these Midnight cards and just put in Tokoyami cards and vice versa, right? I'm just going to switch my deck and not have any wiggle room for tech. In which case, you can just take your Cronefrogs out and then put in good Midnight cards. Same thing with like these Summon Dark Shadows, right? Because currently we've got 1 card from Midnight, we've got 2 with Ruin, we've got 4 with Crow and Frog, we've got 6 with Summon Dark Shadow, right? There's 6 cards. You now have 4 cards as flex slots to like do other cool things with, foundation wise, like your shock treatments, your extra self-assured, your extra where'd the card go? Irrefutable Force of Nature, right? And then you've got 1 more card that you get to mess with. You get 1 more.
Okay, then. Well, got my homework cut out for me, but luckily I get a month. And I'll wait until the last day to figure it out.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you for the support over on Patreon. I hope this was helpful.
No, it was a great starting point. Sorry that it was deja vu all over again, but
yeah, it was, but it wasn't, right? It certainly had a different goal, right? And a different flavor for it, because like I know what you were trying to do with this list, as opposed to making the best Midnight deck. You wanted to make something that's a little more modular for Tokoyami, which is cool.
Spot on. Thanks so much.
All right, man. Well, let me shoot you this. Thanks again for the support, and we'll catch you next time. Okay.
Will do. Take care.
Bye.